The time is 9 o'clock.
Aago mẹ́sàn-án ti lù.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
Diamond 88.7 FM is here to make sense out of your world through our balanced news coverage from the nooks and crannies of Nigeria and beyond. Journey with us through the news we tracked for you at this moment on your shining supreme station.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's a minute gone past 9 a.m. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch on Diamond 88.7 FM in Lauren, where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. My name is BABAFEMI ADESOYE, and here are the stories that are making waves across the world for today. In Nigeria, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has dampened the hope of advocates of a government of national unity, favoring competence over such a political arrangement. He stated that his aim was higher than a government of national unity and will rather seek a government of national competence in selecting his cabinet members and not choosing appointees based on religion. Tinubu spoke in a signed statement titled Nigeria at the Cusp of Renewed Hope, marking his first official statement after his declaration as president-elect by the Independent National Electoral Commission on the 1st of March. Still in Nigeria, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Yakubu Makiau, has said he believes that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, can perform better in the March 18 governorship and state assembly elections than it did in the February 25th presidential and national assembly elections. The electoral body has faced criticisms from different quarters following the conduct of the presidential elections, which experienced some hitches, including failure to upload polling unit results electronically in real time as promised by the commission before the polls. However, Makiot said INEC has learned some lessons from the last election and are poised to do better on Saturday. Taking a look at happenings on the foreign scene, President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi has appealed to the international community to send urgent help to the southern African nation, which has been ravaged by storms that have killed more than 300 people and displaced hundreds of thousands more. Tropical cyclone Freddy hit the coast of southern Africa for a second time over the weekend, causing devastation in Malawi and its neighbor Mozambique. At least 326 people have been confirmed dead in Malawi, bringing the overall number of fatalities across the region to more than 400 since February. Chakwera, who declared 14 days of mourning and pledged $1.5 million in assistance, has now called for more aid, saying the country's capacity to provide relief is limited. In the world of sports, Nigeria's top table tennis player Quadri Aruna has continued to set records for becoming the first African to qualify for the quarterfinal of the WTT Singapore Smash. Aruna defeated world number 4 Tomokazu Harimoto in the round of 16 of the men's singles event at the Infinity Arena. Aruna is the only surviving African in the competition following the early exit of Egypt's quartet of Omar Assar, Dina Meshref, Hannah Goda and Mariam Aludabi. Before the historic win, the Nigerian had lost thrice to the Japanese superstar, who is ranked 4th in the world. And that's all we have for you on this edition of News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you the analysis of the stories from this week. Please do stay tuned.
Up-to-date news reported across the globe. Be rest assured you're on the right radio dial. Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, your shining supreme station.
From news to sports, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs, we got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
The major talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria's too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Why they not kill us for Nigeria? Oh, please help us back them.
They should reduce the expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to the Diamond Breakfast Show. Yes, we'll be analyzing some of the major stories that have been on the trends this week. To do this with me this morning is Mr. Adeola Adeoju. He's a public affairs analyst and social commentator. You're welcome this morning, sir.
Good morning, my dear brother.
Good morning, sir.
Nigeria.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get to the very first story. President Muhammad Buhari has indicated a wish to see the foundation laid by his administration in the war against corruption sustained by successive governments in the country. The president said this when he met with the management of the Code of Conduct Tribunal led by its chairman, Danladi Umar, at the State House. The president maintained that corruption has remained an existential threat to nations, while recognizing the sacrifices made by the Code of Conduct Tribunal, headed by its chairman, Danladi Umar, and other similar agencies amidst the stiff economic and revenue shortages. Now, a core part of President Muhammad Buhari's campaign ahead of 2015 election was his commitment to fighting corruption. After 2 terms in office, what is your own assessment of this administration's anti-corruption crusade?
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I will randomly say my assessment to it, let us extract what happened within 2015 and up to this present moment, 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, that's almost a decade, 8 years, I suppose.
Yes.
More or less. If you look at it, before President Muhammadu Buhari came into as a president of Nigeria in 2015, he has been saying it that one of those things he is going to tackle is corruption. And immediately he emerged as the president in 2015 as a result of coalition of many political parties. He put up an anti-corruption bill and probably declaration of assets. He declared his own assets. And the vice president also declared his own, that is Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Yeah. And as a result of this, everybody in Nigeria was like, yes, we are going to have a government of people, a government that will fight corruption, a government that will improve the economy. And even from his body language, utterances, and action, you can see a country like UK and the US supporting its anti-corruption crusade then. Because I could remember vividly the Secretary to the State of America, I think was showcasing his anti-corruption activities across the globe. John Kerry then was showcasing his President Muhammadu Buhari anti-corruption crusade across the globe then. And that is why the first step he took was that in the history of Nigeria in 2015, starting from 2015, we discovered that a top military official and probably judges were, nailed according to what they have performed. And that is when this Dasuki Gate came up. And the $2.1 billion that was expected to spend on ammunition, on and a series of allegations, and the way he tried the man in court, a delay, whatever. Then this moved to the aspect of Onoge, I think CJN then, on the allegation of certificate forgery. And then we moved from that area to the period of Andoke, Attorney General of the Federation, where he was, brought back from Dubai on the ground of giving money to some people in form of corruption. And as Buhari is fighting this corruption, you discover that he go with ICPC, EFCC, Code of Conduct Bureau on declaration of asset, and everybody believe that is going to make a perfect combination in his activities as far as anti-corruption is concerned in order to boost our economy. But he tried this in 2015, 2017, 2018. On getting to 2020, I think the case of Abdulrasheed Maina on pension came up.
Yes.
Of which people were like, the public court then were like, something is happening, the case is delayed. Later, Abdulrasheed Maina jumped bail, and the public were writing series of articles, the media were saying many things, and he was rearrested in neighboring Niger Republic, brought back to Nigeria, and was charged to court along with Senator Ali Ndume then. And later, we couldn't hear much about it again. That is when people were like saying something about the corruption activity, that probably it is selective in a way. And this now got us to the period of Olisametu, when the man was anchored publicly, and people were like, is it the opposition party alone that will be perpetrating this evil? You don't have people in your cabinet. Party. Exactly. But people now still discover that immediately a particular person is being alleged, when he now swing to the reigning party, the tempo will be mellow. And that is why you can see somebody like Fayose of Present, while he was the governor of Ekiti State. People were like, why would you now arrest somebody who is a sitting governor with his immunity? You understand? And they believe that he has been going contrary. You now see people, Nigeria public, now are having two sides on the issue of anti-corruption. The likes of the great Baba Kumuyi of I think Deeper Life Church, believe in the anti-corruption crusade, because he is of the opinion that the economy should be perfect, we should have a rational government. That was his own crusade, and he believed we should work with President Muhammadu Buhari. But if you see like the likes of Olufalaye never believed in his anti-corruption crusade. You can see the like of late Balarabe Musa. Balarabe Musa was of the opinion that if President Muhammadu Buhari will fight corruption, it should start from 1983 to 85 in his last administration. And you can see somebody like Wike then as a new governor in Rivers State. He was a minister in Jonathan administration before he now became a governor. Wike did not subscribe to the anti-corruption system of PMB then. He even said in public that if he want to fight corruption as a governor, he will establish his own system, that he doesn't believe in the anti-corruption crusade. Everything has been moving like that. But if you look at the tone of a particular, which I will subscribe to, of a particular anti-corruption grassroots coalition, they have said it, I think last week, that what they will appeal to the incoming administration, because of what happened in this administration, that the likes of Transparency International is now ranking Nigeria 146 out of 180 corrupt country, that the coming administration should perfect its action and make an objective in anti-corruption activities, probably by putting the youth in the helms of affairs, so that the gerontocracy idea of old people, performing the same function the same way should be eroded. But my own submission is that I look at the system. The man has put up his best in fighting corruption, but you can be well-meaning at times. But singularly,
so you believe not personally that would have been his best?
It will have been his. He tried his best, and to me, I don't think you can't give what you don't have.
Okay.
Because he has a good motive on anti-corruption, but probably because of old age or the categories of people that works with him. That is why I said sometimes you can be well-meaning, but singularly unlucky if you don't have a competent hand that will work with you. Because why I say it's well-meaning is that even Magu, that fought all these people, immediately they brought Magu case to him. He said they should carry on with whatever. And look at what happened with to Ibrahim Magu. He was also convicted. Though we couldn't see the outcome of the process, but the man was disgraced out of office. You understand? That is to tell you that whatever you take to PMB in terms of corruption or any other thing, he will accept if it is for Nigeria to be great. But do you know the objective of those people that brought the something? And that is why the issue of Kaba came out. And you can see that immediately you said you want to make Nigeria clean, PMB will accept you. But the calibers of people that worked with him then, you can now see a case study of it is the minister. Look at the minister. We have Minister of Agric in Nigeria. What is happening in our agricultural sector? Is it that a minister will take his own plan of agriculture to PMB, he will not accept? But when Fasola is up to the task, look at what is happening in infrastructure. So I now see that the categories of people that work in the anti-corruption arena are the sets that are not making it effective and efficient the way it is. And that is why you see when Pantamin subscribed to the idea of single treasury account that will make our NIN, I suppose, which will be a perfect thing to tackle those people that perpetrate corruption. The likes of Idris, Accountant General, are still making away with such a thin amount of money. Then what is happening? Is it PMB that's supposed to look after him? So it is all about our law and the categories of people that are implementing it. Okay. So to me now, I think the PMB administration has put off its best, but it is not the best for Nigeria because most of the results are not effectively monitored and implemented.
All right, thank you very much. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari talked about corruption being an existential threat to nations. What do you expect the incoming government to do to combat corruption?
Yeah, what I'm expecting from the incoming administration is what I've just said now by a particular pressure group who came out last week. That is an anti-corruption grassroots coalition. It's a group of non-governmental people. They were giving suggestions on how incoming administration can fight corruption. That immediately you come on board, constitute a panel that we, the committee will be up to 60% of youth who know what is wrong and have the energy to move up and down. And they should be given an adequate training, and the law should be strict in order not to exempt anybody. So I will have subscribed that if the incoming administration want the national interest to be its key and paramount objective, it should just make sure that the anti-corruption should be given a focus that anti-corruption crusade should be given a focus that will rebuild Nigeria national image and put us to the right track where we're supposed to be.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Well, let's quickly get to our listeners and see what they have concerning this particular topic we're discussing. Yes, if you want to be a part of the conversation, all you just need to do is just send us this message to this number, 0913 655 6864, 0913 655 6864, or you just call 0913 655 6952. I think we have a call already. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
How was the night?
Fine, thank you. Sorry, your name and where you're calling from.
This is Mr. Davis calling from Shao.
Mr. David from Shao. Okay, thank you for joining us. Let us have you.
Yes, I agree with the guest in the house.
Okay.
He has said a lot. See, the only thing I want to contribute is that most of the anti-state policy of the present administration.
Anti-corruption crusade, you mean?
Yes. Has been targeting the opponent, that is the opposition. The president is a little bit sentimental when it comes to the issue of fighting this anti-corruption. I think that's the only way I think the president then in the incoming administration.
Okay.
If you have if you have political will to do corruption, eradicate it, but we can bring it to.
Okay, there's a way to eradicate corruption for the incoming government, right?
Yes. So if the president or the incoming president should have it at the back of his mind that he is coming to save Nigeria and to serve Nigeria and not to serve certain in the society.
Thank you very much, Mr. David from Shao. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful contribution. 0913-655-6952. Okay, while we'll expect another call, let me quickly ask this question. According to our last caller now, he said that the anti-corruption crusade has been one-sided, has been sentimental all along. I could remember some times ago when a party chieftain in person of Adams Oshiomhole, let me put it that way, said that if you join our party, your sins will be forgiven. Was that his own ideology or the ideology of the party? And what was the president's reaction to that statement?
Actually, if people have been alleging that the president is one-sided, even in his kitchen cabinet and appointment and other side, and he has never one day come out to debunk any of this. Probably he believes Nigeria has seen it to their own perception and the way they see him. But in a situation, you look at it that silence can be an affirmation, because if somebody say you do this and you never come out to deny it or to explain yourself, it might look like that in a way. But generally, when you look at it, if you look at the mode of the way they fight corruption, then look at what happened to Design Madueke. We have been on it. You collect it, you collect that. My own even objective on the issue is that most of this money Abacha loot, what have they been using it for? We gave a suggestion that they should make a national program across the geopolitical zone, where people will see in a later day that most of the proceeds of the anti-corruption is what you use to do this. Mr. President never said anything about that. Instead of it, they were giving a social benefit, 5,000, 10,000 to how many set of people? Is it you and I that will go and kill on that? So if they say the president is one-sided, it might not be their own perception. It more or less general, because that is what the majority of the society were saying, that it is one-sided.
Okay, well, could the president's body language be as a result of maybe the traits of a tyrannical, being a general, maybe that tyrannical trait in him as an ex-general, because it was used to saying whatever he wanted to, whatever he tells his soldiers is what they would obey. Could it be because of that, or maybe his old age, or maybe a silent support, in form of not just saying anything?
Yeah, what I will underline on that aspect is that probably as an ex-soldier, whatever he tells his subordinate, they must obey. It also happened in OBJ administration, but he will speak out. And he will still tell you where he's going, that we must obey in a democratic system. So I think that is his own, PMB, his own style of administration. You know, when Adam Oshiomhole said that if you come to our party, your sin will be forgiven, you see that Fasola contradicts the statement and said that you join the party, that doesn't mean that your sin will not still be saved or will not put you at the front line or in the role. That means that he has we eroded what Adam Oshiomhole have said, that you only come to join us, but we are still going to see part of your activity. But we have not seen anybody who joined the party that is being astray in time of finance. Look at FFK, Fani Kayode. Fani Kayode was alleged while he was in opposition party in different anti-corruption activities. But immediately...
And now he's a forerunner.
Of course. So that is why I just want to pitch tent with what the last caller have said.
All right, thank you very much. I think we have another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Ibrahim from Gakambi.
Ibrahim from Gakambi. Thank you for joining us. Let us have you.
I commend your analysis in the studio.
Thank you.
You see the anti-corruption crusade of this present administration. I see it as I see their fighting towards corruption as an insecurity of purpose. Because this is the same government that said that he is fighting corruption and convicted from ex-government, and later in the month of maybe like 8 months, he did them. He said that he grant them the presidential pardon. They don't have the sincerity of purpose in fighting the corruption. So that is my contribution.
All right, thank you very much, Brian from Galcombe. Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. 0913-655-6864 is the number to send either SMS or WhatsApp messages to. Let us have your own contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Dr. Zil from Fate.
Oh, Dr. Zil from Fate. Yeah, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, let's have you, sir.
Anybody who believes in this administration in terms of anything, including corruption, the person is a joker. We cannot be deceiving ourselves anymore. This government does not fight any corruption. In fact, they invited a lot of corruption, and they actually supported a lot of corruption, and actually also on their own also involved in the corruption, because we have seen a lot of evidences that showed that. We should not deceive ourselves. They didn't fight anything. In fact, from the way they handle matters in this nation, they brought us to more corruption than the way we were before. So in terms of fighting corruption, it is just a deception, their usual shenanigans. And their own was even worse than when the other political party was there. So that's why we are seeing Nigeria. Okay, check currently. Even the monetary policy. Are you with me?
Yes, we're with you.
Yeah. Even the monetary policy is tainted with some form of corruption. Because if you look at it, the masses are the only one crying. If you check the political gladiators, as they call themselves, that they say they are also suffering, look at them. They still look fresher, and they have a way of bringing the money to them in their various homes. And we know how it is. So they should not deceive us. They plunge people into more poverty because they are also corrupt, and they say they want to fight corruption.
Okay, Dr. Zil, let me ask you a question concerning this monetary policy. According to what you just said now, does it mean that the videos that we have seen on social media circulating and going viral about some people throwing away, how do I put it now, loads, should I say bills of naira notes, new naira notes, while a lot of others are actually looking for it, and then they are throwing it anyhow at parties? Does it mean that they belong to this class?
That is what I'm saying now. Can a commoner just be throwing money away? Nigeria is a country where the politicians and their supporters have milked everyone, all the naira that you can think of. They milk it to their side, and they want to also display it. Well, you know, naira is easy to spend in Nigeria to show yourself that you are a rich person. And that is why you see that they always want to do this. And that's why that the money is not in circulation. It was not too much they printed, but even the one they printed, they still make sure that the big people, the politicians, and their supporters are the ones actually enjoying this. And that's why you saw the way the election went. That whether we like it or not, there was still vote buying in other forms. But they do it such that they pretended as if it doesn't happen, and they started praising the INEC in one way or the other. Check those who are praising INEC and all the way they are doing things with the corruption. They will check them. There are people who have feelings and can join from these corrupt leaders who are currently ruling us. And that is what is going on. So they've not performed well in anything, including corruption. They involve us more in corruption. Look at us now. It's not deception. What we're going on is the reality. And we can see that the nation, as we speak now, the so-called president-elect, by the time he come now, because he's also from the same party, but let's see, fingers crossed, we'll see what will happen. And I will be here to tell you too, that we have not said it, because most of the things people like us say, people hate us for saying the truth. By the end of the day, we also see it, because you cannot, as we're alone handwriting, and there is no way you can be saying that. A child doesn't know book, and you say the child has handwriting. No matter what, that child will still have intellectual problems. And that is what we are talking about here. They failed us including in corruption. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Zil. Thank you for your contribution. Well, Dr. Zil's example will definitely take us to the next story. That has to do about the old Naira notes scarcity. But then, before we get there, let me quickly read this message. This says PMB's achievement in anti-corruption is zero, while when the president is selective in terms of prosecution. That's coming from Benga from Ikoli. All right, thank you for your message, Benga from Ikoli. Then I have another one right here. Good morning. Kudos to our invited speaker. The incoming administration should allow the Spirit of God to lead them, because any nation that forgets God will perish. The fear of God is the key. That's coming from Tayo Akindele. Thank you very much, Tayo Akindele. Okay, this says primary source of corruption: too much rewards in political offices, responsible for violence and winning election by force. We need to reduce incentives for political office holders. Rewards for securing political office is like money spinners. Politics is an act of selfless service. In our climb, politics is an act of selfishness. All right, thank you very much. But please, next time, kindly include your name and your location so that we can identify with you better. Okay, well, let's quickly take pay some bills, and then when we come back, yes, definitely, we continue with the Diamond Breakfast Show. Please stay tuned to Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
sí mọ́ àwọn ká ti sá lọ àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn ẹ̀yìn dídùn làkúrẹ́ ìgbé wọ́n ti lọ wá bí wọ́n sí kára o lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
kókó lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. kára o lè pè ń bá. àtúrà wọ̀ àtúrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa. kegun tó kegun náà. kára o yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀bá ti fi kára o lè pè ń bá ra. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára o lè pè ń bá wọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action action. ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀lẹ́gun làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára o lè pè ń bá lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń bá. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń bá. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń bá. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára ó lè pè ń bá múre àtúrà dáadáa.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccine-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700 220 1122.
This message is brought to you by the National Primary Health Development Agency in collaboration with the Nigeria Red Cross Society with support from the Africa CDC SLL program.
Everyone loves an upgrade, but with DSTV, you get boosted to a whole new level. Upgrade to more football and get boosted to the most heart-racing sports moments. Upgrade to your favorite shows and get boosted to emotions like never before. Upgrade to the best action movies and get boosted to high-octane scenes that make you shout, woo!
Upgrade your DSTV package and DSTV will boost you to the next higher package. Offer valid from January 25th to March 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, you're welcome back. It is still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin. And then, of course, we've been talking about the anti-corruption crusade of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration and the assessment. Right now, we are moving over to another story. Despite the directive of the Central Bank of Nigeria that old Naira notes, that's the 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes, are now legal tenders till the 31st of December 2023. cash scarcity still persists across the country. Now, the scarcity of naira has slowed down economic activities, especially in the informal sector. What is your own assessment of the naira redesign policy generally?
Actually, if we look at the excuse me, the redesigning of a thing is a good policy, honestly, because they have explained to us most of the advantage we are going to get out of it. But implementation and the formulation was extremely bad, and we have been saying it right from day one, because if you are formulating a public policy that is related to money, there are policy actors that you have to formulate it together. The judiciary, you take them along. The legislature, you take them along. Some part of the executive should be part of it. Then the CSO should be part of the formulator, and you also have the careers officer. These career officers are there at that ministry, agency, the MDAs. They know what has happened before, how you go about it. They have the document they will show to you. But something of such never happened. Then in the area of implementation, which is the second stage, you have some actors that will implement this policy with you, like NFIU, ICPC, SSS, so that any law of infraction, those are the people that will target the area. Nothing of such come up. Then you now discover that by the time they ask us to bring in our old note in order to get new one, as you take old notes to the banking grant to deposit, by the time you go to the ATM arena at the beginning, you discover that you are still taking the old one back, meaning garbage in, garbage out. Then what is the essence of redesigning? And you are giving us a targeted period that by so period, something will stop. Then what of those people at the rural area? Then couple with the machinery that need to be in place during this cashless policy that redesigning want to bring out. You want to make your transfer, do this. Have you made a kind of assessment of the capacity of the network we have? A situation where you make a network, it will debit you, it will never credit the person. Look at what is happening these days. Some people will not sleep overnight looking for network in order to pay bills, or you are expecting some amount. Even if you wake 4 a.m., you still check your phone, probably the money might have dropped. All this one is what we witness now. At this present moment, the court said that we should be spending the money, which is the normal thing, up to December. That is how it's supposed to be. Presently now, we heard that most of the money that have been retrieved, we had it from a particular quarter, that those money has been destroyed and it could not come out. Only the one that was taken to the banking sector at the lapse rate period. And that is what they were giving us now. And if you go to your bank now, in my home bank, it is 10,000 from the ATM of the whole note. And the 10,000, you queue for more than 3 hours. I cannot even go for that. You now discover that if you look at the economy arena now, presently, both the formal and informal sector of economy has been affected, because the economy has been shook in a way. Because the beauty of any economy is to have a circular flow of income, whereby money will come in, it will go out, it will circulate. Or even if you are making transaction, let the transaction go as expected. And you have some informal sector where transaction will be limited. Let me give a local example. There is a woman where we normally buy tubers of yam from her. I met her the other time and we negotiated the tubers of yam that goes for 5,000. The woman was telling me that she doesn't have a bank account, that I will go to a particular POS.
Okay.
On getting to the POS, the lady told me that I will pay additional 200 naira. I said there's no problem about that. The mama was now telling me that before she will even get her cash, she's going to pay additional money, and she need cash to go to the interior market at the rural area, that I should add additional 500. The woman was pleading, but because she's so sincere, she doesn't make any so I have to give her the 500.
So meaning you bought a commodity of 5,000 naira for 5,700.
Exactly. So look at it. Then sometimes when you want to make a transfer, if you want to buy 3 items, probably 1,000 here, 800 there, you will be paying 100 naira in series of transactions, unless if you are making a combined transaction. So I now discovered that.
And then are the POS operators not even contributing to the
lot? They are contributing to the
they are contributing negative effects.
It's everybody, not the POS alone, because the POS, what they are doing, they are not giving you cash. It is a kind of medium intermediary activities whereby your own money will be taken out of your bank, your account, transacted to the buyer's account, probably as a result of network. If you are transferring 3,000, they will subcharge you for additional 200 or 300 naira. They are making an ordinary day. If you want to collect cash of 5,000 naira from them before they redesign it, probably their own commission is 100 naira.
100 naira.
Now they are making a parallel transaction that doesn't involve cash, and they are taking such amount of money. Then even where we get this frozen food, there was a time when I met the woman, okay, how much is your frozen chicken? So amount. Okay, let me transfer. The transfer was not forthcoming. We met a POS. The POS said he will collect 1 naira, no, less than 200 naira.
Okay.
We remove 50 naira. That is 150 naira, I suppose. Okay, I said there's no problem. The woman now said to her own account, I have to add additional thing. I said, madam, but it's your account now. If my transfer has gone, they will debit me probably 15 naira and your own 20 naira, and that is okay. You've making gain. So it is not the POS alone. It's everybody. Everybody was just looking for an opportunity to exploit, honestly. And looking at the salary earner, that is why I have to challenge the labor union. Look at the salary, and the salary has not been increased, and some of them will queue in the bank. Where you now make your transaction, you'll be putting additional to everybody, and they are not doing any other business. And labor, the labor union, I mean not labor party, the labor union supposed to be a kind of non-state actor that should mediate between the people and the government. If not, now that they are giving them ultimatum, what have they been doing since all these days? That is why they have to come in if you want the salary. And look at what is happening to the inflation now. And some people did not even put it into consideration. We are going to have a long run negative effect on this activity.
So you mean that the inflation rate that has risen to 21.9%
is
as a result of this particular
81.82? It has moving, and that is a kind of, because people were saying it that it is a general thing in the whole world. There is inflation in the world. The inflation that is happening around the world is what we refer to as galloping inflation.
Which is even macro.
Exactly, and that one will be moving in an arithmetic progression. But this one is an hyperinflation in Nigeria. It's moving in a geometric way, because if you buy, if you pay additional 100 naira today, by tomorrow it may be 300 naira, and the money that is coming to you is not forthcoming. And what is happening to the informal sector of economy and the formal sector? Look at some people cannot even access agricultural input now. They're supposed to have been going to the farm for their clearing now. They couldn't access money to get it, and as a result of that, in a later day when you are expecting agricultural produce, what will happen? The one we are hitting now is what has been produced before, and those one, even the insecurity does not allow these people to go to the farm as expected. So now look at what will happen to our economy as a result of this naira. I begin to look at it that the theory behind this redesigning is more or less political than economy, because if it is don't buy votes, we want to engage in cashless policy, we don't want people to make fake money, and we want to reduce ransom payment, there are other machinery that need to be put in place before now. Not that you just wake up one day, you just implement a program and all the nation. I begin to look at even the CBN governor. He will not be moving on here from his office to he's a resident in Abuja. He will be seeing people queue in bank on daily basis. You'll be watching this on social media. Then what is your reaction? Do you enjoy happiness in people undergoing such kind of a thing? And at the end of the day, even if you succeed in what you want to do, and the inhabitant that's supposed to enjoy it did not feel what you are doing, is negative, is zero at the end of the day.
Okay, let's talk about the microeconomic activities of this particular monetary policy. Okay. Just like the examples you've given before, there's this particular how do I believe school of thought that believes that it is naturally expedient for business owners, whether small or medium scale, to have the POS machine so that people can embrace the cashless policy with their cards, and then wherever you get to, you want to buy something, you just use your card, and then you have paid for the commodity you've bought. So meaning that it is very likely that the government may ban the POS operators that are actually that are acting as money agents, because the truth of the matter is the POS machines were supposed to belong to business owners and not the POS operators, so to say, in the first place. Now, we have a few commodity merchants that have the POS machines with them. But by the time you get there, take for example, I sent a young lady a bag of sachet water, which is supposed to cost 250, and then before she got back to me, 300 naira was deducted from my account. I said, are they selling water 300 naira now? She said, no, they said they were going to collect charges.
Sure.
The only reason I sent her there is just because I know that those people have the POS machine.
Exactly.
So I was now wondering, what charges again? You have a commodity, you have put a price on it, and then I paid with my card. Are you supposed to now take from me again?
You perfectly.
Okay,
then
so
whose fault?
What exactly do we do to this?
Exactly. You see, what we're supposed to do, if you are preparing for any examination, let me give a vivid example, mathematics. You know, there are formula in it probably when we were in school. You have to study it overnight, look at the formula and how you are going to apply it. Then when you get to the examination, you won't giraffe from anybody. Either right or wrong, you want to, practice, translate what you have practiced into reality first.
Definitely.
Not until when you get to a difficult area. What kind of practice has the government put down in order to sensitize the public on the use of POS, on the use of inter-switch bank, where the transaction will not fail, on preparedness to people in the rural area? Look at the cash swap they are doing. They've stopped it now. And if they check it very well, a lot of people, the agent will have made their way out of that. We may not have evidence for that, but when you are going to cash to the interior, if I happen to be one of the agents, I don't have camera that monitor me. Do you think it's the whole cash? I don't have people that are supposed to give in the urban area. So they didn't put an accurate machinery on ground in order to sensitize people, in order to let people know that the POS belongs to you and this is the amount to be charged. So they just woke up overnight, put up a policy in a country like Nigeria. Automatically everybody will look for a way out in order to exploit anybody. So what you are saying in respect is a perfect system where every medium scale business will be able to have a POS, and I go there, this is my whatever. Even most of them did not have an accurate network. And
that's
they were
another
still,
thing.
exactly, they were still telling us that they should not engage. So we have some people who are not much recognized by the financial activities, who have a perfect network, and they were telling us that if you engage business with those people, you are doing it at your own risk. Exactly, because they were not well established. And immediately you engage with these people, the transaction will go. Now you don't give us what we want. And
you mean the micro digital banks?
Exactly, exactly. You know, they have variety. I don't want to be mentioning them. They have variety
yes.
So there are some that are very accurate, and government were telling us that these people, they are not sure of them, and they give us what we need. And you are telling us to go through difficulty of what will not give us what we need, and you say those ones were recognized. That is why I'm like, actually, the inhabitants have their own issue. I mean, the small-scale business owner, they are exploiting us truly. But it is the government that gave them.
But that exploitation, will it not be discouraging the essence of cashless policy?
But when you don't have alternative, even if
there are some people that will be like, okay, is it so? I will have to pay extra 15 naira before I buy something. Okay, I'm not buying.
It's happened to me, time without number, and I suffer for it. But there was a time my children would be saying, "Oh, Daddy, please forget about it. Let's go and get it." Because of them, they didn't understand. That is why sometimes I look at the way a manner the government is training us, training our children. Honestly, I don't appreciate what they are putting on ground. They just have to look for a policy that will suit for every inhabitant, because when you are doing something for the benefit of the public and we are not enjoying it and we are complaining you didn't answer us, and we are not in the military era, you understand. That is why sometimes when the court said that the president have gone against the court order, and a time when they say the apex court, we should continue spending the money, people were like, don't let me take the money, because if I take it, the president have not spoken. And as if we are not running a constitutional democracy. In a titular democracy, that is what they do. They will be expecting the president to talk, neglecting other arms of government. But in a constitutional democracy, there's separation of power. Immediately the apex court talk, everybody should just adjust to it. And that is why when the president now give a body language that he did not say the CBN should not collect it, CBN now roll out a press release and everybody begin to collect it.
Was that same day? So if the president had done the needful ever since,
of course,
it shouldn't have gone to this level.
Sure.
Okay, well, let's quickly get the reactions of our listeners. I have this message saying, poor cash flow management may kill the economy. Money should be exchanged for value, products and services. CBN should push cash out to calm frail nerves. As blood to the human body, so also cash to the economy.
That is it.
One of the functions of government is to ensure smooth cash flow. Humans are more valuable than statistics. The welfare of people should be the top priority of the government. It is not going to be surprising if stress-induced illnesses hinders economic growth soon. That's coming from Kolade from Asadam. Thank you so much, Kolade from Asadam. We appreciate you, sir. This says, competence give birth to national unity because it does the right thing at the right time. Incompetence disunifies the country. Competence is not tribalistic, not religiously biased. It's a part of incompetence that leads to some agitation for Biafra nation, etc. That's coming from Easy Ilofa. Anyway, I really do not understand where you're coming from, but then thank you for your contribution. This says, the Naira design. Okay, Nigeria has not enjoyed the dividends of democracy as we are still ruled by the cabals. We can only be out of the clog when the enlightened in the country decide to vote rightly. That's coming from Shegun Abegunde. And then he also says the Naira design is political, not economic. The politicians are the owners of the banks as they get the money easily. Yeah, Shegun Abegunde from Ilorin. Okay, let's see if we can receive one or two calls before we call it a day on the show. 0913-655-6952. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Dr. Zil, I come back.
Okay, Dr. Zil back.
I will always say no to this policy. Whatever it is anybody is saying is good, but the implementation, whatever that cannot be implemented is not good. Whatever that it means from the beginning, because the beginning of the matters as to how it will end. The end product of anything matters a lot. The outcome of anything matters a lot, not just the process. If the process is good, and then at the end of the day it's bad, it then shows that we should check something is wrong, actually. So if we look at it, if we say something is political in Nigeria, it's bad.
All right.
Let us not deceive ourselves. We should not be saying good is bad, bad is good. Whatever that is bad in its entirety, because what is good from the beginning will be good throughout.
All right.
But in a situation whereby at the end of the day, the masses are the ones suffering it, and we are trying to look at it, and it shows that people that we put in power don't know their left from their right. They only get there because of religion and tribalism, and then one X this, one X that, and they don't know what they are doing. If you look at it, the CBN man, the people blame him. For me, I don't blame him alone. I blame the person that appointed him, because he's an appointee. The appointer actually is the problem, because the person doesn't know his left from his right.
All right.
That is the problem. So that's why all this thing is we are all suffering because of one, mediocrity, lack of knowledge. We are suffering from people who are in power who doesn't care. But the analyst in the studio said, if you check, the CBN man must have been going around seeing people, but does he really feel about it? Nigerian politicians don't feel, and their appointees don't feel about the suffering of the people. They only feel about themselves.
All right.
Their position. So those are the reasons. So the policy is bad. The implementation is all not good at all. Everything about it is political and it's bad in itself.
All right, thank you, Dr. Zil. Thank you. Because of our time, I still have enough messages right here. This says, "Good morning, the presenter and the guests in the house. To me, I believe this current government is far much better than the previous government in terms of corruption and economy. In the Minister for Defense if the Minister of Defense diverts money meant for ammunition to his own pocket and past government did nothing on it. Compare the rate of crude oil 9 years ago to this time. Inflation is hitting every part of the world currently. Rate of insecurity and the killing of army has reduced drastically compared to the past. Rome is not built in a day. Give us valid evidence if you believe this government has done nothing." That's coming from AK Baba from Gakombi. AK Baba from Gakombi, thank you very much for your contribution. This says, "Good morning. The government is a promoter of corruption. Look at Rashid Mena case. Look at this governor that were convicted and forgiven. Accountant General case, etc. Even the homegrown feed, the anchor borrower, I can go on and on. They have failed woefully in corruption. It is only when this government left that you will know. Okay, it is only when this government leaves that you will know many things." Okay, and it says that, "Do you know that this cashless policy has ended up destroying even the non-formal sector of the economy, the SMEs and the Company and Co. Okay, a lot of businesses, shops have closed down and cannot operate. What type of policy is that? The CBN that's supposed to build the economy is now destroying it because of its policy somersault. It's very unfortunate. How do you talk of a flat cashless policy without internet network in most of the rural areas? Emefiele has damaged the already fragile economy. The incoming government will have to battle much to restore back the economy. That's coming from Bashir from Airport. Thank you so much, Bashir from Airport, for your contributions. And then, Naira redesign policy is still one of the best things that can happen to Nigeria if implemented with Nigeria's best interest at heart. The problem here is this policy was designed with only a given hidden self-interest by the CBN governor. The result was a policy that was not thought out. Hence, the implementation was a mess because there was no real implementation plan. That's coming from Ike from Surulere. And then, I'm so sorry, there are still a lot of messages, but we may not be able to cover them because of our time. Anyway, yes.
I want to say that Nigeria is like a vehicle. Just like you will get your Tokumbo vehicle of early use from anywhere. And you now discover that the vehicle is not okay. The next thing that, oh, this rubbish vehicle, let me just get money and buy another. What is the problem running with it? The one you want to buy, did you check it very well? If we are condemning an administration, I think there must be good thing about it. And if we are shifting to another one, don't let us say we want to condemn this or we are just looking for this. Who are you looking for? What is its pedigree? Nigeria will be great.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeola Adeyoju, for coming around this morning. We hope whenever we call upon you again, you definitely oblige.
By His grace.
All right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly the size of our package for this morning. Special thanks to everybody that contributed. So sorry if we could not be able to, we could not pick your calls. So sorry if we could not read your message. We'll do this again next week, Monday, by the special grace of God. Please go out tomorrow and vote, and please do not fight. Violence is not an option at all. Let's ensure a peaceful voting process tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody. My name remains Babafemi Adesoye. Please stay tuned to Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin. Bye for now.
The major talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Why they not kill us for Nigeria? Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over